Hey, so I just finished watching The Acolyte, episode 1, season 1, and I gotta talk about it. So I have like 40 bullet points of things that I wanna say. First things first, High Republic, it doesn't feel like it's that grandiose, only being 100 years apart from the movies that we know. Number 2, what is it, May? Whoever the assassin is, she's like, "Where's your Jedi?" Gives him $1 or whatever. Wouldn't she know that? Shouldn't she be like stalking this person from a distance because they're a professional, knowing where they are? And then also, why come during the daytime when there are so many witnesses? It doesn't make any sense. The only reason to do it is just to have like a populated fight scene. It's just to have the scene. It's not serving the plot. I thought that was kind of weird that she wouldn't know where she was. Attack me with all your strength is probably the stupidest, cringiest thing. Attack, and then them laughing, which I think that's fine, the laughing part, but it seems like she was like in the cantina hanging out with like the drug lords. Maybe that's for a reason, I don't know. So she watched everybody's ass get just kicked before she actually did anything about anything, which was very un-Jedi-like in my opinion, but what do I know? She's killed off immediately, Carrie-Anne Moss, which I suspected because all the scenes that we saw from her from any of the promotional material were just that fight scene, and she probably cost a lot more money than everybody else, so they're like, hey, we need you for like one episode and then in 2 flashbacks or something like that, and get rid of her. And it's really deceptive to say we have Trinity, Carrie-Anne Moss, and then Ep dies 9 minutes in. That's kind of lame, because I think a lot of people wanted to see what Trinity would bring to this role. Maybe we'll see that later. I don't hate the scene overall, like the fight scene. I like the force push. I thought that was cool, and they put that in the trailer. I thought that was pretty cool. But the lamest thing ever is that she got killed by a stab in the chest with a dagger. That is so very lame. Kind of random, but I also like the little kid holding on to the dad at the bar. Why is the kid at the bar? Whatever. Maybe it's not a bar, maybe it's a restaurant. For all I know. But the kid's holding on. It looks really good, and it looks really like cute. I don't know. Something about it got me. I was like, oh, that's nice. Moving on. Next scene. So next is with the Nemodians or whatever. The guys with the notorious accent in the prequels. They should have just kept it. They should have kept the Nemodian sound, or however you pronounce that. One thing I did not like is the female. I don't think we've seen female Nemodians, but it looked like hair, like a Jackie Kennedy 60s, 50s housewife type thing, like in a cartoon. I hated that, and I hated that they had to do that for a female character. It just looks so like, and this is the girl version of these guys. It's too much. It was too much. What else? Not a big fan of the Gremlin Jedi chick. Definitely a Gremlin. I haven't heard anyone online calling her a Gremlin, but that's a Gremlin. Have you seen Gremlins? That's a Gremlin. But I also don't like that they didn't do more with they just do makeup in the face and then that's it. All the bodies are humanoids. Not a fan of that. And the Jedi mind trick thing, I mean, did he just pull the information that he needed from his head? Is that what just happened? Thanks for your cooperation. Because then just do that to May in the next room and just be like, did you kill her? No? Okay, thanks for your cooperation, and just take off. She should have been way more shocked to see him. She was like, hey, my old buddy. Gee, I don't think she even asked what you're doing here until like later in the conversation. Like, is it you? I can't believe it's you. Boy, it's been a while. Yeah, no. That's not how anyone would react in this situation. First, she's like, what are you doing here? With a bigger reaction. And then she mentions that she left the Jedi Order and she became a mech, which I don't hate that term. That checks out for me. Because the skills weren't transferable. Like, you couldn't do much? Are you kidding me? No. You were force sensitive. You can see what's behind stuff. Like, when they do little tests on kids and they see like if they know what's behind the curtain number 1 or whatever, that's got to be really valuable. And even if you're like in the infantry, in the military or something, you can always get out and work in the defense sector because what you know about machinery, just about weapons, is super valuable. You telling me this person who knows so much was like, well, I guess I'm going to be a janitor because I got no skills that are transferable in this empire, this High Republic that values Jedi so much? Come on. What else do we got here? Oh, man. Oh, those outfits too. Like, they're too new. They look too new. There's no grit to the outfits. I did not like those outfits one bit. And why did they bring the bartender to that's so stupid. Because why would you, well, first, like, show a photo. Like, hey, yeah, you were identified. by the bartender. We send him a photo, or maybe just show another scene of there being a crime scene, and then be like, yeah, I saw her explaining it, and then you fit the description or whatever. But to bring the accusing person to the person who they know is someone who murdered someone, and bring them along, and then point a finger at, yeah, it was him, before they're even in handcuffs, and just say I have a twin. Oh, you got it all wrong. See, there's someone who looks just like me. I promise. It's crazy. That's all you had to say. And the problem is that's all, as a viewer, I'm thinking about, why didn't you say that? Why didn't you say that? Why didn't you say that? And that takes me out of the show. Coruscant looks like garbage. It looks really PlayStation 1 CGI. There's no character. It's just a building with very flat polygon PlayStation 1 floor, like the building, and then everything around it, and then in the far distance you got like little sticks of buildings, so you don't have to give them much detail. Really uninspired, and every time Coruscant came out, it was a little sad. I really like the design of the kid who was like the fuzzy no-neck alien, this little kid. I just love that. It was definitely practical, I think. I don't know how much CGI was involved, but it looked great. The writing, the dialogue is so clunky and bad. Let me read to you a line here. My dear friend, how lucky they are to have such a compassionate teacher. This is like what you're told not to do in like a writing class, like, oh, my dear sister, how long I haven't seen you since we both graduated from the same high school together, in this year. Or like, wow, your daughter really loves you. It's great that you have such a loving and caring daughter. No one talks like that, and to see that in action. Now I feel like I have to talk to anyone who does aliens in any movie. Hear me out here. You can paint them green or blue or whatever, but can we just take a few seconds to go into Premiere Pro and throw a couple of filters over the pink areas of the mouth and eyes, because they take me right out. It looks cheap, and it looks like she was spray painted on green, which she was, sure, but obviously like you can't get color inside of this, or in the mouth, so on the tongue. But how much more immersive would it have been if they just did a mask and said, okay, anything that's pink in these areas, and track it while they move, invert those colors, and make them, instead of pink, make them really, really, really dark pink, or make them green to match the skin, or dark green. That would have been really awesome. It would have felt like it was an actual different creature. But no, that was too much. Why am I just thinking about this and no one did it? This seems like a really easy thing to do. Whatever, it just takes me out of it, because I know it's a human in paint, and it could have been something more. I really like the autopilots like folding into the chair. I thought that was really cool. It reminded me a little bit like autopilot from Airplane. Yeah, but there's a line where she goes, "Thanks for the offer, but don't you think that could kill us?" I did not like that delivery in the slightest, because it almost felt like they were buddies for a long time. They were bickering like buddies. She doesn't know these criminals. And she's talking to them like, oh yeah, great idea, bozo. Don't you know that could kill us if you try that? Like, I just don't think that was a really good delivery. And the idea that would crash into asteroids is so ridiculous. They're coming from hyperspace. They pull out of hyperspace, and where they end up, is inches away from a planet, because to get sucked up into that orbit, they'd have to be this much. And so in an asteroid field, I guess did this planet have rings? I didn't see any rings, but whatever. It crashed around, and then it just gets sucked right in. By the way, she did not survive that. There's no way. There's no chance that she would have survived that. But I did like the scene overall. I liked it a lot, actually. I liked her running around in the inside. It was an extended scene, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. I like that the guy had this thing in his face. I think that's what they would do to prisoners to subdue them. That makes sense. In a parasite, like, I've never even thought about that in that world. And I think that's pretty inventive, pretty cool. However, something that is inexcusable is them arresting whatever this alien creature was, where his mouth or his tongue or his schnoz, whatever it was, can go through the bars and like grab something and beat down the security robot. That was too stupid. You don't hide that. Like, that's got to be a species. and then the bars are this big. They're not little. I mean, you can get fit half your body in there, and then he can just, I mean, whatever, dude. This is upsetting because why? I don't want to be upset when I'm watching, feeling like I'm being insulted, like, oh, you're too stupid. Don't think about it. I don't like that. So that's my issue with it. And I also like that she went back to save the guy to get the thing off of her head. It showed a little bit of nuance to the character, and I really like that he freaked out and ran off because it said to me that he was listening the whole time, so that parasite must just have him paralyzed, which is really sinister and just aware of everything, because he didn't go, where am I? He knew everything that was happening. He knew they were falling. So he just took the first opportunity to get the hell out of there, which I think that was a pretty good scene. The whole permission to speak freely thing is a little too military, and it's kind of getting... They're making it too much like it's like a military organization. I made night, permission to speak freely. It's too much. Are these supposed to be like monks or something? Or just organized monks? I really like the quiet your mind thing where, I forget it's so whatever his name is, he goes, quiet your mind. And then the sound design was really good there. At that moment, it was like, I thought it was awesome. So there's a moment where Green Lady goes, may the force be with you, and I don't think that's earned at all. It doesn't need to be earned. It's just kind of like a goodbye thing, but don't use it for this and this episode. Save it for another time. He's not going to go off and do something so dangerous. I mean, I guess you could argue that I'm going to go and take her down and bring her down, but it just doesn't seem like it was a warranted moment. And can we stop with the non-stop planets? There's too many planets in Star Wars. Just say she crashed in Hoth. And then, I don't know, just, or like so many desert planets, just too many planets. Just we have enough. Just go to go to the same planet, but like on the other side of that planet or something like that. And it'll be a totally different climate. That's great. I think that makes perfect sense. The Earth is not one way, the entirety of the planet. It's different. Let's go to just go to Naboo again. Just go back to Naboo. I don't know. Just go somewhere that we know. There's too many made up planets for no reason. The part where the little kid goes, hello, sister, was really, really rough. Hello. Oh, so it was pretty cringe. And there's this part where they go, I give you you if you give me me, or something like that. Delete that. That's no good. Trash it. I like the Squid Games guy a lot. He's really good. I like that his foreign accent, I think he learned English for this scene, or maybe he was getting fed lines in his ear. But he was great. His accent, his heavy accent, works perfect for this character. Maybe it's like a monk sound thing, and I don't know. Whatever it is, it works for me. And he's subdued. He's not bombastic. He's not overacting like the green chick, and he's not arrogant like that other dude. He's just toned. I like it. And there's a line where the black dude with the dreads or whatever, he goes, there's no way she could have survived this. And I immediately went, you are correct, sir. You were absolutely correct. There's no way that she could have survived this, because no one would ever survive. Because then anyone falling from space would just survive if they have a seatbelt on. That was dumb. Do something else, make it, then let's see like the emergency flaps go on, and then like emergency like wings come on in cases where it knows it's coming close to orbit and it doesn't have its engine. And then we could have been like, oh, okay, that's how she survived, because the plane had some feature. But it just showed it just crashing so heavily that no, you don't survive that. Now, I don't mind them using the lightsaber as a lantern, but it wasn't that dark. It would have been much more impactful if the cave soundstage wasn't so short. It was like they went in, they went out. So because of that, it was really light. If it was a really dark place, sure, bring them out. Everyone bring out your lightsabers to check out the area. But then they said earlier that Jedis don't use their lightsabers for anything other than defense, so that kind of goes out the window. There's just a lot of holes in the whole thing. But mainly, I think the issue there is that the cave was just not dark enough to warrant a lightsaber being pulled out for a light. If you attack a Jedi with a weapon, you will fail. What does that mean when you kill someone with a dagger? That last line there with the Sith creature guy, Smilo Ren as they call him. If you attack a Jedi with a weapon, you will fail. But what was a dagger? She attacked with a dagger. That was a weapon. Was that not a weapon? Tell me if that wasn't a weapon. And then the last thing, the Acolyte kills without a weapon or something. An Acolyte kills a dream. That was so clunky. That was terrible writing. And finally, exposing the lightsaber for no reason whatsoever other than, look, cliffhanger, keep watching. Who am I? It was just, I didn't like it. I didn't like that, not one bit. Now, this show overall, I'm not hating it too much. That writing is terrible. The writing, like the scenes that happen, the reason why scenes happen are terrible. But right now, I didn't hate it. Nothing happened that made me despise the show. I mean, out of 10, I would probably give it a 5 right now. 5 out of 10. Yeah, it looks kind of cheap, and the writing is crappy. But let's see where this goes. That's it. So that's all I got. If you enjoyed any of this, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, that's it. So if you liked any of this, hit the like, hit the subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.